Pacers battling. Right now, let's go across the board, get our socials squared away. Knicks cut the lead to 9. Right, Facebook is good. IG, good. Twitter is on point. Let's get YouTube lined up. Knicks cut the lead to 8, staying in striking distance. I like it. Cheap offensive foul on Cat. Last but not least, let's line Twitch up. All right, all right. All of our socials are good. These Indiana Pacers are playing tough. Nonetheless, my New York Knicks are hanging tough, down 11. About 8 minutes to go in the third quarter, so we're going to be with this game all the way to the conclusion. You know what time it is as far as the Cape Cod Kid. Here we go, Brunson. Yes, sir. Cutting that lead back down to 9. And we just hanging around, and we getting ready to make the move. A lot of contact there, Mitchell Robinson and Spicy P. Okay, Knicks, we want to earn. We want to earn a W. Right now, we don't want to be gifted anything. So I'm not for any favorable calls. We got to earn a W. Let's make that clear. But you know what time it is. You know what time it is here. Go New York. Go New York. Go. Oh my goodness, Nimhard. Pacers push it to 12. Indeed. Just let people know, folks know, and then we going. No whistle for Cat. I don't mind it. Pacers coming back. Oh man, they're jacking. Timeout. Goodness, Pacers push this one. Push it to 15. Knicks up against the wall. Nonetheless, plenty of time left in this ball game. We're gonna get it back right. Let me just let you know. Let people know what's going on. Hope everybody out there, doing good. Go across the board on the socials. The socials are good. My Knicks right now are not so good. Lead's been pushed to 15. Backs up against the wall. But you know that's when, all right, you dig deep and we respond. Let's get into, hold on a second now. Make sure our volume is right. Hope everybody had a good week. As good as can be expected, right? Right? Hanging in there, doing the best that we can. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get it going. SandCity Sports. Saturday edition. Knicks and Pacers, second half. Indy come out firing. What? Hitting them. It's okay though. New York Knicks, we gonna hang tough. We gonna hang tough during this Indiana Pacers run. And New York, we gonna stand up. Go New York, go New York, go. We're not falling back for nothing. Let's go. what time it is. We run the intro back twice for the intro. You know what I mean? To begin the show. Make sure you confirm this. What? Get 'em. SandCity Sports. Saturday edition. It's the last day in May, my people. We breaking through into June. The spring and the summer is on the horizon. Spring is in full swing. I'm loving it. Okay, and my niggas need to get it moving and get into our swing so we can withstand. Hey! So, again, it's time. We can't let Indy push this thing to 20 points. Been nip and tuck, you know. Had a chance to go to movie night, which was cool, you know, in the neighborhood, around the way, you know. So caught a, what was it? Riders for Justice, foreign film, set in Eastern Europe. It's good, you know, kind of action, you know, film with a bit of comedy mixed in. Not bad, but I had to get back here, you know, to the game and into this very important episode as my New York Knicks are hanging tough, battling it out on the road. Have to get this one to force that pivotal Game 7. And Indy's just come out firing. The transition defense is no good, okay? Very displeasing. Knicks were getting buckets, and then we're letting Indiana run right back on us. Particularly in these lineups where, you know, I need to see a little bit more Josh Hart. We got Mitchell Robinson out there. You know, we got the two lumbering bigs. They're getting beat down the floor. So we're getting a bucket, and then we're giving up these runouts. You know, Indy is just classic secondary break. They're just running and making us defend. Cracking the paint. That corner three is wide open, and they're just in a rhythm. You know, they're just firing. CC's in the building. Caitlin Clark's in the building. I already talked about the symmetry between the NBA and the W. Support going both ways. And see, now I like it. Indiana's bringing some pressure. Make the Knicks play deep into the shot clock. Try to speed us up. Bottom line is we got to cut it to 10. No more playing around. We got to cut it to 10. Then we got to cut it down to 7 and 5. Big three. The last OG, he's been big. All right, down to 12. And so, hey, we'll be watching the game. Plenty to get to in the world of sports. Baseball's picking up. We got the Australian Open. Yes, we do. Come on, Steele. Let's get it, Mikkel. Yes, sir. 10 points. What I say. Pushed it to 15. We back to 10. Let's go. Missed a bunny. Bryant missed a bunny on a run out. What have I been saying? We get it to 10, then we give up a bunny on a run out that was missed. We got lucky. Big body to Cat. Right back to 8. Let's go. And now Indy called a timeout. You understand? Excellent 7-0 run, which really should have been a 5-0 run. Okay. Bryant missed. Okay, because Indy's running the secondary break for the basketball folks. You know, they're running on makes. Okay, run on makes, run on misses. I'm all about it. And you know, it's giving us some problems. I think we need to get Hart out there. No disrespect to Mitch, Rob. He's coming in. He's an important part of the rotation. But Josh Hart, his transition defense is much better. You know, so that when you have Hart out there, you got two lockdown guys. Yes, I said lockdown in the last OG and Mitchell Robinson. And then Hart, he's just faster to back down the court, can get in front of guys. Right? You can post Hart, you know, he can maintain leverage and make you work. But he also gives you that additional dimension. Obviously, Mitch Rob is a glass eater. You know, he's not extending the court. And Josh Hart can come in and hit those occasional 3-pointers. All right. So I'm looking to see Hart out there. And hey, this is it. This is our Game 7. This is the series. We just have to get it back. We just have to get it back to the Mecca. We got to get it back to the Big Apple some kind of way and let New York, you understand? You see, you know what I mean? Understand what time this is, folks. You know what I mean? You know what this is. We got to let New York carry us into the NBA Finals where the Oklahoma City Thunder await. All right? Rebound action. Yes, sir. 8 points. Let's go. Let's go. Got to cut it to 5. Cut it to 3. Let's get this thing back to even. Take our lead. Neesmith is out there on his lockdown. Big body Brunson. Okay, we got the switch we wanted. Big body Brunson. Long. Good rebound for the OG. Save it. We still going with Mitch Rob. Okay. Come on, big body. Cat to the basket. And 1. Thank you. Let's get it to 6. I love Cat attacking the basket. So I'm talking about. Okay. People in the fantasy have a problem with big body Brunson. Keep it to yourself. Okay. Cat, hey, give me. Oh, hey, two is just as good. We attacking the basket, putting the pressure on him. All right. Cat is one of these. You know, he can shoot the 3. You know, free throws are free. Get them. You know, and you know he can score at all 3 levels. Can score at all 3 levels. I see Deuce coming in. Give OG a break. I don't mind it. But we can't lose anything defensively when OG goes to the bench. Can't lose anything defensively because now Deuce, we got 2 undersized guards out front. I need Deuce to give me some energy points. He's got to rebound out of position. You know, come on, Cat. Got to take the free ones. But I hope everybody out there is doing well. SandCity, we locked in on this. We are locked in on this Saturday edition. We ready to go. So, no limitations. Turnovers. Mikel, come on. Villanova. Come on, Nova. Can't do that to me. But I hope everybody is doing well. I see some people with us on the socials. Please jump on. I see people on Twitter. Deuce. Get up. Okay, see, this is what I just said. Deuce takes a 3, falls back to the ground. Then we get a run out for a bucket. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Okay, that's a double whammy, Deuce. First of all, okay, you're out there. You need to hit these 3s. You got to hit these 3s. Hey, and then we give up a run out because you can't get back on defense. No. All right, I know. No. And now it's back to 10. Okay, that's the rule. When you come in, if you're a part of the bench mob, folks, all right, you got to give me plus something. You know, if you got to extend the lead or cut out into the deficit. When you come into that game, you have to give something. It can't be neutral, and it certainly can't be a decline. So we've had 2 runouts since Deuce come in the game as an undersized shooting guard. All right, I see Hart. I can dig it. I like the pressure by Indiana, and I like we're not getting no ticky-tack calls. I'm loving it. Indy's pressing up. Okay, that means we need to get the ball in our primary ball handler's hand, which means I need Mikal Bridges to come to the ball and take some of the primary responsibility. You know, Josh Hart doesn't initiate no damn offense. Here come TJ McConnell. So now, again, Deuce has to stay in front of his behind. TJ's going to the cup. Love it. Thank you. Mikal, get the... No nickel dimer there. Deuce. Oh, McConnell smacked Brunson in the face. Okay, so let's get to the free throw line now, man. Inadvertent hit there. All right, we got a couple fouls. Knicks, let's go. Keep pressure on them. We got to get to the free throw line. Another turnover. Who turned the ball over? Mitch Robb. This lineup, we got Mitch Robb in the game, giving Cat a break. And now McConnell want to get going. This is a comedy of errors. We're trying to get guys rest. I don't know why Cat's on the bench. You can rest Cat. Brunson doing back up to 14. This is pivotal. Come on. Spicy P. Rhythm. God dog it. Tibbs don't want to burn a timeout, but doggone, it's a 9-0 run since we went with this janky lineup. Hart for 3. Timeout. Timeout. We got the two. We got the 2 shrimps on the bench. 2 shrimps on the court. Posting up one of them. Hart now trying to go coast to coast like he... Big bucket by Hart. All right, get Cat back in the game. Get Cat back in the game right now. There's no sense having Hart and freaking Mitchell Robinson on the court at the same time. Your front, you're completely limited in your front court. It's a different thing if Hart is playing and then Mitch, I'm just saying, we're just limited offensively right now. Thank you. We got the OG back. OG come back for damn free throws that were missing. Tibbs just throwing guys out that haven't even been in the damn game. Trying to quote-unquote rest guys. I'm saying this isn't the time for rest, though, because we're down too much. It's tough times right now for my Knicks. These lineups aren't making sense. Deuce attacking the basket. That looked like a clean block. Let's see. Did he get into his body? I like the attack to the basket. That's a clean block. I don't know who hit him. Like I said, we don't want ticky-tack, nothing. I don't know where the foul was. Maybe it was on the reach. But Bryant had it clean up top. I don't know what the heck number 0 is doing in the game right now. I have no idea what he's out there for. Give Brunson a break. See, this lineup to me makes no damn sense. We need to quote unquote rest Mikal Bridges. No, you need to cut it to 10 points. All right, we got Cat back in the game. Give us some offense. No stupid fouls. But you got guys out there. 0, no. That should be Mikal Bridges. Don't worry about Bridges getting freaking tired. Deuce, big bucket. He stepped on the damn line. That was a 3. We lost. He caught the God. He caught the ball. Tibbs is my coach. Again, I'm having some issues. With this. You don't get guys rest when you're down 14 on the road in a must-win game. That's not the time to get guys rest. I'm sorry. And we're getting guys rest, and they're raining it down on us. Now we're back down to 15 while we're getting guys rest, which means having empty offensive possessions, which means Josh Hart, okay, he got the foul, but now, that's our offense, just Josh Hart throwing himself to the, I don't even know if this is a foul because it's a straight line drive and guys are just jumping. It is a foul. He got smacked in the face. So good attack by Josh Hart. Nonetheless, what's our offense? We got OG out there. That's a possible flagrant because he got bopped in the face. We'll see if they review it. We just had it to 8. Now it's up to 15. To me, why is it up to 15? You want to rest Big Body Brunson? Fine. You want to rest Cat? Fine. One or the other. But Mikal Bridges should not be leaving the floor under any circumstances. Okay? Has an Energizer Bunny engine. And you need offense. Don't give me this, I'm resting Mikal Bridges. He's the one person you don't need to take out for rest. Based on his Iron Man streak. And not only do you need offense, you need someone to initiate the offense. So if you have Cat out there, you need somebody to get him the ball. And we've seen it again and again. Deuce is not that guy. Okay? I made it clear I'm partial to Ragu and DiVincenzo. Said that a number of times. Had no problem with the Minnesota deal. Trade Deuce, keep Ragu. Throw some picks in there with Deuce if you need to. But keep Ragu, because if we had Ragu, you could have Ragu out on the court right now and rest. Because Ragu can clearly initiate offense, start offense, initiate offense, and get the ball to freaking Cat on the inside. You got Cat out there with a bunch of nobody that can get him the ball, which is why we have Josh Hart, depending on him for offense, basically sprinting up the floor and throwing himself at the basket. He got bopped in the face here. Could be a flagrant 1. No problem with it. But when you're down double digits, you need to cut. You can't be resting guys when you're down double digits with your back against the wall. You got to cut it to 10, cut it to 7 so you stay in striking distance. While you're resting guys, we're going to go down 20 and we can't come back. So I'm concerned with these doggone, get Big Body Brunson some rest. Get Cat some rest. Keep them out of foul trouble. I get that. OG, same thing. Bridges doesn't come off the court, particularly when you might get him a 2-3 minutes when you have your full lineup in there. So this rotation, we just cut it to 8. And then we got cute with our rotations, giving guys an opportunity. This ain't no time to give people opportunities. This ain't no YMCA nonsense right now. All right. If guys come, Deuce has come in. He hasn't. He's out here. He's out of bounds on one, possession. He doesn't get back on another possession. He hasn't given us anything. Get him out of there. You got to come in and get it. Indiana's guys coming off the bench and getting it. Steal by Deuce just after I said that. What the heck is Hart doing? Hart's out of rhythm with this rotation. He's out of rhythm coming off the bench and playing and not playing. Terrible three. You see how Carlisle came back with his guy, right? Who gets the straight line run out. Meanwhile, we got Brunson and Mikal Bridges and OG chilling on the bench. Right? Carlisle brings out and he plays 8-9 deep. They just play that way anyway. So that's just more, whereas we're more of a 7-8 man rotation. Now we're trying to go 8-9 and guys just are out of whack. Some terrible stuff from Josh Hart, who's clearly poking his lip out because of the change in his minutes. So, and then the change in his role. He looks around and it's just him and Cat out there and a bunch of zero, okay, Deuce, didn't get it going. So that was a very costly, I don't think, going to the fourth quarter down freaking 15 points. Oh, my God. It's burning me up. You just had it to 8. I'm not understanding. I'm not coming off of this point. Go around the world here on my rant as I complain. A couple people on Twitter, please let me know. Jump into the, you know what I mean. Twitter folks, let me know what you feel. I can see what's going on YouTube. I'm losing my mind as the New York Knicks here give away opportunities. It's not that you lose, it's how you lose. You know what I mean? I'm just certain things I just don't understand. Okay, Brunson and Cat, you can sub them, but you can sub them out because they get in foul trouble and they do need rest. Those guys are going to, if we're talking, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So in the course of a marathon, you can bet your bottom dollar. And by the way, Brunson and Cat, the 2 starters in the All-Star game, the 2 guys that aren't necessarily known as being two-way players, will compete defensively but aren't lockdown defensive guys. All right, and the 2 guys that you have to watch out in terms of injury. Mikal Bridges is your Iron Man. Should not be coming off the court under any circumstances for any reason in this type of situation. If there's one guy who you can depend on, and you just look at him, he has a marathon runner's frame as it is. But I'm pulling my hair out, what little hair I have on my head right now, in terms of why we had the rotations out there that had limited to no offense when the score is going in the wrong direction. We get it to 8. Now they push it back to 15 to start the quarter. You know what I mean? Forget about giving guys an opportunity. Forget about giving guys minutes. Forget about guys' feelings. You need your people out there to hold the freaking line. Okay? And at the end of the day, bottom line, specifically on the road, it's tough for your bench guys to, right? At home is where your bench is going to play better. Deuce went out there, gave us nothing. Now we're getting cute to start the fourth quarter. I don't understand this. Forget about resting guys. Get the guys that we need out there. Shamit, haven't seen him. He's cold. Okay, we got OG on it. OG ISO Cat out front has to go to the basket. And 1. Good straight line drive. But we're dependent on... See, this makes no sense not having Bridges on the court. None. 0. 0. We get a steal. OG, thank you. Run out. Indy calls the timeout. OG stepping up. Got a rolled ankle. 2 huge buckets by OG and Cat right there to cut it to 11. I don't like the lineups. I don't like this lineup with just OG and Cat and guys because we're resting people. It's now or never. And, ain't going to be no rest tomorrow after we lose this game. It's Cancun on 3. What the heck is going on? OG stepping up big time. You know what I mean? It's a gamble to put that same lineup out there. They went on a 4-0 run, okay? I would just come back with Bridges. I don't care what people feel. And you need your dudes. And again, I said it again and again and again. It just makes no sense having him off the court anyway. Never mind, because he's built for it. I done already explained that with the Iron Man streak and his frame. Tall, I don't know if he has any body fat. Very lean. And then with the Iron Man DNA. B, because you need a primary ball handler when Brunson's not in the game. Somebody to initiate offense. Bridges on the ball. You run your screen roll action with Bridges on the ball and Cat. You know what I mean? Bridges is better on the ball. OG is better spotting up. And OG's been outstanding to both knocking down threes and attacking off the three-point line. So Bridges is our next primary ball handler after Brunson. It's not freaking Josh Hart. Josh Hart does it, and Josh Hart is all discombobulated. Get him. Just get our lineup back in the game. We got a little 4-0 mini run. I'm not trusting Landry Shaman and number 0, whoever the heck that is right now. I need Bridges on the court. They might, it's a questionable. Maybe, but you don't know what you're betting. I know Bridges is going to give me something. And if he doesn't, I can live with Bridges missing high percentage shots rather than guys who I don't even freaking know. Deuce and and I'm kind of piling on Deuce right now, admittedly. But doggone it's crazy with the freaking, feet out of bounds on a big bucket and him falling down and giving up a run out. We can't have this. You understand? If you're going to go down with your people. You got Hart out there a little discombobulated. A part of that also is because he's not playing with La Cosa Nova. Put Hart, McCall, and Big Body. That's your group. This whole Mitch Robb needs to be no. Mitch Robb is a fill-in guy to come in and give you a little spurt, little defense. He is not a core component of this Knicks team. Our starting 5 is our starting 5. Big man rolled his ankle. Get back quick, 5. Again, Tibbs testing it with Landry Shaman and number 0, whoever the heck this is, to rest guys. This is dangerous. We're down 11. Got lucky. McConnell missed a straightaway. See, we would need Bridges in the game right now for offense. Landry can get buckets. We'll see. Haven't seen much of him in the game. 0. Who the heck is he? Just give it back to Landry. And now our offense. Big rebound, Hart. Mr. Bunny. Decent set. Defensively, what are we doing? Another stop. Good. I get Bridges back in the game. These are just empty offensive possessions. Block. Thank you. Wow. That was quite an extension. I see the block. Okay, I can dig it. OG kept going. Block. All right, I'll take it. I need Bridges back in the game. Cut it to 8. Stop playing around with this doggone. Let's get Bridges back in the freaking game. Missing another damn free throw. Now Tibbs is rolling the dice with these no-names in a 9-point game with 10 minutes to go in the season on the line. Another no call. We don't have enough offense on the court. Number freaking 0 misses an open 3. Which leads to a run out. What did I just say? I should know who that guy's name is as a Knicks fan. That's exactly what I just talked about. How would you feel with Bridges taking that wide open 3 versus... And on the other end, we give them a run out. Big Body Brunson's back. Let's get Bridges back out here. I don't know what the freak Tibbs is doing. As the #1 Tibbs supporter, just put your freaking starting lineup back in the game right now. Shamet can spot up, fine. There's the spot up. Miss. I don't know what Shamet can give me defensively. All right, we can run some offense now. We have our guys in the game. Don't understand why Bridges isn't out there. I'll take the blocking foul. This is just nuts. Resting guys for a tomorrow that doesn't exist. Ridiculous. DeLon Wright. We're going with DeLon Wright over Mikal Bridges in a must-win game on the road. DeLon Wright. I got no issues with Landry. Landry can shoot it, but I got plenty of issues. There's just no reason for Mikal Bridges to be on the bench. There's just zero. And I told you don't need to rest him. He's the one player on this team you don't need to, quote unquote, rest. And he's one of the two-way players that you have. OG, who needs rest because he's injury prone, as we continue to miss free throws that are free. Bridges, chilling on the bench, 9 minutes. Been on the bench. Nembhard hits a big bucket. Bridges, chilling on the bench, down 12. Tibbs, oblivious. I'm telling you, man. All right, we're getting some nickel dime calls. These are opportunities to get Bridges back in the game. But I guess Tibbs, we need to did I miss something in the injury report? Is Mikal Bridges? If Mikal Bridges isn't injured, then I'll just eat freaking crow. Did he come into this game injured? Do we need to rest Bridges? I didn't know the man got injured. I thought he was an Iron Man. Just call the damn timeout now. They pushed it back to 14. They're pressuring up on Brunson. The secondary ball handler is Landry Shamet, who's just a lockdown scorer. We don't have a primary. It's back to 14 with 8 minutes to go. Bridges, when all those first-round picks, remains on the bench. Cat doing it all. Going to the basket. Good no call on the straight line drive. Bridges is still sitting on the goddamn bench. Finally comes up off the bench. You wasted 4 minutes in the fourth quarter. Wasted. Wasted 4 minutes in the fourth quarter with Mikal Bridges on the bench. Complete and utter waste. I got no problem with Landry. I got no problem with what benefit did they show us in that 4 minutes of you gambling with them? Zero. Down 12, 8 minutes to go. We now have our lineup on the court. They're plenty rested. Got to erase a 12-point freaking deficit. Make it 14. See, this is my point. Now the margin of error in this 7 minutes, you've given this group, all right, and then and we're just giving up straight line drives because again, all this resting guys, you have to get warm again. But we're resting you. Bullshit. Excuse my French. Family friendly. A nonsensical offensive foul on Bridges. Who has to get it back up to. It's going to take him some time to get back up to speed. He's down, and now it's just right. You got to be perfect. Essentially, you're down 14 with 7 to go. No timeout. We're floundering. Straight ISO ball. Straight ISO ball with Cat. Luckily, we get a foul. Folks, let me know if I'm rambling, making any sense. This is a pessimistic episode thus far. This is hurting my freaking heart. It's hurting my heart to watch this. The points that I've made, call me whatever you want. Monday morning quarterback, call me. I'm. These are just things that I'm seeing that I don't freaking stand. Momentum and just feel things that I don't understand. Never mind the missed free throws that are just, that's a whole other ball of wax. The 6-7 miss, just rotationally, I don't understand how we cut it to 8 points and then we get freaking cute. I don't understand that. And I've been ranting about this. Maybe it's been 42 minutes of me. I don't know. Tell me what you think if you think it's trash. But it seems that I know a little bit, because we're down 15 with 6 minutes to go, feeling the pressure on the road. Okay? Instead of being down 8 or 7, right now we have an additional 8 and 7 points to make up. And you don't know if you can come all the way that far back to do it. And we're not. We got to stay together offensively. I didn't hit the panic button too. Okay? It's just a lot of ISO right now. So we got to find a way to cut it to 10. Cut it to 10 by the 5-minute mark. 2 possessions, 3 possessions. Halliburton is just cooking. So we got to play fast. We can't play. We got to have, but we have to get good possessions. Cat just jacking. OG, good look. Huge bucket by Cat on the putback. We just got to find a way to cut it to 10. Right? But we're feeling the pressure on the road, down. Great defense. The 2 former Raptors. Great verticality by OG. Good no call. Now we come back with Mitch Robb for I don't know why we took Cat out of the game with 5 minutes to go for Mitch Robb when we need all the offense we can get. I'm not. This is insanity to me. Why do we take Cat out? We're down 14 with 5 minutes to go. There's no need to rest anybody. We take out an all-star starting center for just a rim protector. Down 16 with 5 minutes to go. So that means we need all the offense we can get. But our starter in the all-star game is on the bench for a rim protector. Brunson just jacking now. No idea why Cat came out in the first place. We're just in absolute free fall. Indiana we're just giving up wide open. All right, so folks, clearly I'm angry, right? I'm more angry in terms of how we're losing than that we're losing. It's a force multiplier right now. You know, if we lose, we lose. Right? You lose, you lose. But how we have lost this game, there's 4 minutes to go. We're down 19. That's what's aggravating me. How we have lost this game. I have no idea what is going on, what has went on with our rotations. What is this overcorrection? Who do we need to prove something to? Tom Thibodeau is a Spartan 7-man, 8-man rotation coach. Did I miss something? What did Pat Riley say? I'm playing 8. I'm trusting. No. You dress 8. You trust 7. I'm playing 6. Tom Thibodeau come from the Pat Riley tree. 7-man rotation. All of this nonsense on the outside about how it doesn't work and yada, 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 even though that's what's put us in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now we want to experiment and go 7, 8, 9 deep and do this YMCA baloney on the road in a game 6. We want to do this YMCA equal opportunity baloney for guys that don't even need rest to start with. Never mind the fact there's plenty of rest because after this game, everyone's going on vacation. So there's your rest. I'd rather in a game 7, which this is essentially the game 7, I'd rather us with our guys have them get tired and run out of gas than be in situations that we can't come back from anyway, which is where we are now, down 19 with 4 and change to go. So I'm just not understanding any of this. You know, this is an authenticity type thing. If you're going to lose, you might as well just lose your way rather than trying and, and acclimating to what. We got DeLon right on the game, in crucial situation. You can't tell me Mikal Bridges is tired. And even if he was tired, the immediacy and urgency of the moment gives you extra energy. Now we're coming back with Landry Shamet. Shamit's in the game for Hart. We're just gonna shoot a bunch of threes. I don't know why Cat came out of the game in the first place to bring in for Mitchell Robinson. I have no idea. His straight line drive, guys are completely out of rhythm, out of whack. We got a bunch of shooters on the game. We're gonna shoot a bunch of threes. We can't even get to our shots. OG, good rebound on the block. Cat taking a foul. So we're just playing out the string right now, folks. Again, we cut it to 8 with 5 minutes to go, 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. And Indiana's 9-0 run, that was, that was our rotations. We come in with Deuce, we come in with DeLon Wright to quote unquote rest guys who don't need rest anyway. I'm sticking on that point. And even if they did need rest, forget the rest. Burn a timeout because there's no tomorrow and you can't get down too many. You have to stay within striking distance is what I'm saying. Morale-wise, strategic-wise, this is all garbage time. We got 3 minutes of garbage time because this game has become garbage for the Knicks. And the Knicks faithful, it's become garbage. We're going back to how it became garbage. Since we're in garbage time now, when we had it to 8, you come in to rest guys, and it started going the other way, and you stayed with that stupid, ridiculous rotation. Mikal Bridges is on the bench for like 8 minutes. And we're look, give this guy a little minute, give this guy a little minute, taking Cat, this nonsense. There was never anything wrong with our lineup. Josh Hart all discombobulated. There's never been anything wrong with our lineup. Cat, Hart, OG, Brunson, Bridges. Mitch Rob off the bench. Deuce off the bench. And then either Landry, Shamet, Campaign, whoever. But that first 6 guys, ironclad. Tibbs seems to be partial to McBride, to Deuce. I'm partial to Ragu. Don't see why Ragu couldn't have been. I've been saying this. Now it's just all freaking you're down 20. Now you then we get down 20, and I'm adding on now, but we got our starters in the game down 20. Now you can take the starters out the game because the game's been over. This is coming from the number 1 Tibbs supporter. This is a winnable game. You didn't see the final score, 20 points on the road. No. First quarter was nip and tuck. Thank you. Take the starters out. I don't want to hear anything about anything. I'm furious right now. I don't want to hear anything about anything. This was an opportunity for the Knicks to break through and make the NBA Finals. Indiana is not the better team. They've executed better. This was a year to make the finals and have a chance to win a championship. I don't care what anybody says. No excuses, no nothing. Game 1 gave away. There was opportunities to get this doggone game. We could have got this one. If it's in butts and candy and nuts, we're all of Merry Christmas. Fine. But I've been talking to you. Anybody can say jump in. This has been a pessimistic podcast so far. It has to be the way it has to be. But I've been talking to you about, and now that we're down 20, about how you can get in these situations. Maybe I know what I'm talking about, maybe I don't. But all these little things, keeping, instead of just pushing your cards in the table. Tibbs is over here playing chess, and I gotta, at a certain point, just push your chips in the table and just back the fuck up. I'm swearing. I apologize. Family friendly. We had it to 8. I keep coming back to this. And for me, this game is decided with 8 points, with about 4 minutes to go in the third, and Mikal Bridges goes out. Or our group, we don't put our group back in until 8 minutes to go in the fourth. So that 8-minute swing of trying a little bit of this here, trying a little bit of this there. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got to do that. No. A coach that's known for ride it till the wheels fall off. Wanted to do a little bit of this here, a little bit of this. Again, guys that are used to playing heavy minutes. Hart used to it. Bridges used to it. Brunson and Cat, yes, those are the guys that you might need, but doggone it, just get them out with like a minute left in the fourth. Use it then. We don't need to get Deuce McBride minutes. DeLon Wright does not need 10 minutes. Landry Shamet does not need. And by the way, where was the production from those guys anyway? Those guys that you had to get minutes. They didn't have it tonight. We were teetering in the third, should have just came back with the starting lineup that's been all year to begin the fourth. That's that. As much as it infuriates me that we let it get from 4 to 12, 13, 14, it makes me even more angry to start the fourth that we waited to the 8-minute mark to get our guys in the game because they needed quote unquote rest. All the rest for now, plenty of rest now, as I've said. But it's not, they come in the game energized, but they're too far behind. You put them too far back up against the wall. You put too much pressure on them when you finally got them back out there versus getting them back out there with time to start the fourth 12-point game. Okay, you got 12 minutes to knock off 12 points. We have lineups out there that just have no off. We just didn't have offense. We had our offense was on the freaking bench because you wanted to rest guys. What do you? A lot of silence. What this comes down to a bit of is right what Tibbs has fallen victim to here is what we see here in New England. Let's get this for you on the screen. Pessimistic. I mean, I can't help being pessimistic. You see the shirt that I'm in a year for the Knicks to come back and get a first championship in over 50 years. Okay, I don't know what you I don't know what you want from me. I don't know why the Twitch. I don't know why Instagram failed on me. Just adding things, no good reason. It's just a comedy of errors right now. Facebook is good. I don't know why IG froze. See if I can get it back. It's already connected, but see if this will work. The pessimism. I don't know. It's a tough one. Try one more time with the IG. If not, it is what it is. It's tough. Mm. All right, let's get this for you on the screen just to try to break down what the heck we just saw. Knicks end up getting 20 pieced. All right, so what it comes down to with Tibbs, as far as after just seeing, and I'm just not understanding, um, this it was a tone deaf game plan tonight, just tone deaf. It was an analytics game plan, right? Just not, just thinking that this player is the equivalent of that player, and we not understanding momentum, just tone deaf. I've said it, you've been watching it, I've been repeating myself. But what I'm getting at is that, a coach like Tibbs, tough, old school, really prides himself on player development. I think he gets too attached to his projects. Right? Again, back to Belichick, I'm not gonna pay you because I can develop you. I'm not gonna pay you when I can just develop you. right? Belichick, the Patriot way is I'm going to pay guys, and it worked until it didn't work. Okay, and end of the day, we know the Patriot way was the Tom Brady way. Okay, your system could be successful when you had, arguably the greatest player of all time. Take the greatest player of all time away, and the system collapses. Okay, so in terms of the Knicks and the 20-piece that we just suffered tonight, and looking at how we suffered this 20-piece when the Indiana Pacers are not better than us. They're just not. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. They played better. They were true to who they were, which is the running gun team. That game 1, we had the Pacers under wraps. Game 5 had the Pacers under wraps. Right? Game 2, 3, 4, and 6 are nip and tuck. Now, that said, specific to game 6, but this was a winnable game. No two ways about that. But we have Deuce McBride. We have Landry Shamet. We have DeLon Wright. We have Mitchell Robinson now. This confusion about Mitchell Robinson playing more than Josh Hart, for whatever reason, because of whatever. And what I'm, Belichick's, that I can develop. It's, it's not I can develop players to match natural ability. I can take a player with limited ability and just through my system and my, quote unquote osmosis, they can match and even exceed the player that's just naturally gifted. And as was just said, it proved to be false in the scope of time. Right? And this is something that Tibbs clearly is dealing with. And a part of the reason for the 20-piece tonight. Okay? I don't care how, Deuce McBride is a Tibbs project. Again, I'm partial to Ragu, but, Deuce. Okay? What did Deuce do in the second half today that warranted him being on the court and our starting 5, any one of those guys not being? He did nothing. What did DeLon? I haven't seen DeLon Wright. I didn't even know he's on the team. I'm sorry. And he gets 20 minutes or whatever he got tonight because of why? And you just throw shit, Landry, who I didn't really see out there much in the first half. Maybe he got like a minute or 3. Your energy guys, if they don't have that, just chalk it up to the game. If your role players off the bench don't create that spark and you're just middling, which we were, then get them the heck out of there and go back with your core guys. Right? But we didn't see that tonight because, I guess, guys needed to be taught a lesson. We were teaching lessons tonight. Josh Hart had to be taught a lesson. And I don't know why Mikal Bridges, under any circumstances, is, even if he is injured, which it doesn't often happen. This is it. This is the last game. Everybody wants to give their all in this moment. See, we got some people jumping in the chat. What's going on? See, Morrow. I ain't ignoring you. Just a frustrated Knicks fan. Frustrated Knicks fan. Thanks for jumping in, Morrow. Pacers in 6 for real, for real. Hey, I'm happy for Indiana. You know, you ain't. I've been Team Rick Carlisle for a minute, right? Said this, team was dangerous. They received no pass, none of that. All right, but I'm beside myself in terms of how this went down because it didn't need to go down how it went down. And I'm just at a loss in terms of why my coach, Tom Thibodeau, conducted himself in the fashion that he did. Again, specifically, 8-point game, third quarter, 4 minutes to go. Why we got cute and didn't give ourselves a chance to come back. And that's just tone deaf. Tibbs was tone deaf tonight, specifically to start the fourth quarter. For every single reason I just noted, and again, we have Belichick out there because I just think you fall in love with your little projects. You fall in love with your right. Tibbs fell in love with his little pet projects. These players that he's quote unquote developing on the bench. And you contrast that. Rick Carlisle, they didn't have to change. Like again, why are we changing? But Indiana's just doing what they do. But we need to reinvent the wheel. All this Mitchell Robinson here, Mitchell Robinson. I got no problem. Again, start Mitchell Robinson, but your best lineup is with Hart out there. So if you want to start Mitch, allow you to do some different things with Cat, he can protect the rim, fine. But far too much with Mitchell Robinson tonight. To no avail. That's not our best lineup. Mitch can come in and allow Cat to get a breather, and Cat can just step out a little bit, yada, yada, yada. But, Josh Hart should be playing 35, 36, close to 40 minutes. Yes. He just does so much. And he is, because Mitch Rob is not a two-way player because he doesn't give you anything offensively. The two-way players in our starting lineup are Hart, Bridges, and OG. And of those three, OG is the one that needs rest. Never mind in the back of you, even OG, you could just play 40 minutes tonight because there's no tomorrow. But Hart and Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges can play 44 minutes, literally. You rest them the last 2 minutes of the first half. They can just get a 2-minute rest here, a 2-minute rest there, and play the rest of the game. They've done that before, A, and then B, tonight is just. So I don't understand why I do understand because you want to prove that you're the smartest guy in the room. By the way, shout out to Dark Money. Shout out to Alex Gibney. This is what I'm saying with Tibbs. I'm furious. I'm not jumping off I'm not stupid right now. We need to bring it back. You don't cut off your nose to spite your face. I'm not going to hear any Mike Malone talk. We don't need to blow anything up. This is the nonsense the Celtics are thinking about. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Celtics and this Giannis noise that I'm hearing, which is completely preposterous and ridiculous. Celtics, you want to end your dynastic window? Make a move on this with this group, and it's done. For you, Celtics, it's done. Right? We in the previous iteration, we were hanging on to Kyrie after he went south on this team. The team that never really got a chance because of the Gordon Hayward injury, never really got a chance to see the Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, Al Horford, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown Celtics. We didn't get because of the injury. And by the time Gordon Hayward came back in his second year, it took him time to feel the confidence in himself, A. And then B, Kyrie had gone south. And he went from, I want to be in Boston to running around with the Sage to just being angry Kyrie. And Danny Ainge let that angry Kyrie dominate that entire season because he's holding out hope that he can pair Kyrie with Kevin Durant in Boston. He saw that coming, but he wanted to do it in Boston. But you had already you switched from Dr. Jekyll, and you were already dealing with Mr. Hyde, so it wasn't going to happen. Kyrie went in his demon mode, as they say, and he was out. Then you brought in a guy that's team first in Kemba, and we returned to the winning ways, right? But we had to endure a season of just waste. I would have sent Kyrie's behind home in that second seed. Just send his behind home if he's going to be a chemistry killer. Okay, and now the Celtics talking about, oh, we might be able to get in the Giannis suite, which means you're gonna have to trade JB or JT, and we're gonna keep Drew Holiday and pair him with Giannis here in Boston with Jason Tatum. No, because again, you're gonna have the same salary cap issues that you have now. A, and B, you're not gonna be better. I said it, you're not, because now you want to talk, and there's nothing wrong. Yeah, JT got hurt, and you didn't replace the brain trust. That's what happened. You hadn't replaced the brain trust all year, which is why you the same reason that you were losing during the regular season, the same way that you lost in the postseason. You were missing Jeff Van Gundy. You were missing Charles Lee. You didn't have the strategic advantage. Period. End of story. Joe Mazzulla, he's not a Jason Kidd. He's not a Rick Carlisle. He doesn't have that command voice. Period. End of story. And Joe Mazzulla's been, and when you threw Joe Mazzulla out there to the Wolves, what happened? He went down 3-0 against the Miami Heat team that didn't have their second best player in Tyler Hero. Then won 3 straight, then got embarrassed in Game 7. Joe Mazzulla is a good young coach. He is not an elite coach. Period. End of story. There's no two ways about it. And these coaches, these young up-and-coming coaches that are not elite, okay, they're not. Not a Kenny Atkins. They're just not. There's a difference. They need benches full of former coaches. So whatever you want to say about Doc Rivers, he brought stability to Milwaukee and a team that was, imploding. They were stable. You didn't hear about all the drama. Now but the Milwaukee situation ended when they traded Drew Holiday and he went to the Celtics. So that was the end of their window, and everybody knew it. Okay, and then they just had 2 years to pull out the string. But Doc Rivers brought stability. He can coach up the young guys, and he can get through to these stars and just get them right. You didn't hear Giannis, even though Giannis had 1.5 feet out the door. Dame didn't want to be there anyway. But you didn't hear all that. They showed up to work. They did their job, and now they'll move on to their next destinations. But it was done professionally. Okay. Well, you look at Doc Rivers. Not only is he a coaching lifer, been a heck, and people could talk about giving up 3-1 leads, only won one championship, all that stuff. He brings stability. Can he win a championship? Maybe not. But can he get you? Can he get a team into contention? Yes. You look at his bench. He's got Darvin Ham. He's got David Jorger. Just a bunch of former coaches. Joe Mazzulla needs a Frank Vogel. He needs a Coach Bud. Yes, needs. On the bench with him. And when the Celtics have not provided that support, they've lost. So you want to talk all this Giannis talk, and it's not going to work. The next, no. You had a championship team, A, and then you were gifted Drew Holiday. That's what the Celtics, they had a championship team, made it all the way, were right there against Golden State. Golden State edged them out with the veteran leadership. Could have got back the next year when they brought in Derek White, who was the point guard that we were missing. Didn't even though Derek White's more of a scoring guard, he's a much better point guard than Marcus Smart, who's no way, shape, or form a point guard. Marcus Smart is a defensive-minded shooting guard. He's not a point guard, never been a point guard. So I always took the ill-advised shots because he thought that he was a part of a big three that he was not. Then you brought in somebody that knew to pass the ball and could really step up and contribute, i.e. Derek White. And you were one game away from an NBA Finals against a Miami Heat team that didn't even have their second best player. Then first of all, you brought in Drew Holiday to give you the juggernaut lineup, and you brought in a brain trust. You brought in Sam Cassell. You brought in Charles Lee. You brought in Emile Jefferson. You brought in Jeff Van Gundy, to be your consultant. And then what happened? Daddy Warbucks came and stole Jeff Van Gundy, put him on the Clippers bench, and Charles Lee's running the Charlotte Hornets, and they were not replaced. Well, they need to be replaced. That's what the Celtics should focus on, not having the same cap issues with Giannis versus JB or whatever. You need to bring everybody back and give Joe Mazzulla some support. Period. And the same thing with the Knicks. Right now, the sky is falling. People are angry. It's all sort of this and that and the third. We bring the same group back. Tibbs, he's a lifer, so he has his staff. So on. But if I'm Leon Rose, if I'm Worldwide West, you got to talk to him. You got to talk to him. And maybe they're, or we should have, woulda, coulda, shoulda, didn't. But just the rotations, I don't know what was going on there. And even if there was, because I know, I'm just not sure why Tibbs, who's always been a short rotation guy, went away from that tonight. I don't know why. And it backfired, as it should. But never mind it just backfiring. Beyond like the rotational issues, it was just he just didn't see momentum beyond who we had in the game. Like, it started slipping away, and we were just sitting there like, you know what I mean? I don't have a problem. It's like people that, you don't want to admit you have a problem when you clearly have a problem. You know, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. And we don't have our guys out there. A. B, the other thing that I'm going to, Patriots way, that's part of it. You just get too attached to your projects. Stop it. The other thing that I have to say, to add, and then we'll talk about some of these other situations, scenarios. A couple people on Twitter, I appreciate it. Let me know what you think. Good, bad, and different. Some good commentary on YouTube. Sad Knicks fan right now. Dejected Knicks fan right now. We got a lot of slice of life to get to. We're going to go through some other scenarios. We'll talk a little bit about baseball. Beyond I'm just like Tibbs. It's slipping away, and you're just there, just letting it slip away instead of just getting your guys out there. And the other thing I want to say with that is, like, Tibbs, call a play. Not just an RPO, but like you're this basketball lifer. You have all these schemes in your head. Run something, run an action with with your guys. It doesn't always have to. We're not dependent on Brunson. You can put, as I said, Mikal Bridges on the ball, or you can start your offense from the corner with OG, post up Cat. Like, there's so many different things you can do with our starting lineup. And we're just out there. Never mind, you didn't have guys were cold coming off. It just ran all the way downhill for the 20 piece that you saw. We were just all the way out of whack. But what I'm saying is that not only should we have had our guys out there, but Tibbs, get our guys out there and put them in stuff. A lot of the stuff they just do naturally when you have La Cosa Nova on the floor together. But then on top of that, you can, Tibbs, with your Rolodex of plays, just draw something up, a set. Rather than, Karl Anthony Towns played out of his, he's just, guys just, a lot of ISO stuff. So, we got a lot to get to, but, I'm feeling like this. Strategically, we were just outmaneuvered tonight. As I've said for the last hour and a half. I think that's how I feel. The bottom line. We talk about, Indy and happy for them. O.K.C, franchise is going to get a championship that hasn't got a championship. That's well, and you could have had the Knicks to that because they ain't got a championship for 50 years. So as happy as I am for everybody else, you know, not that you lose, how you lose. I'm just, it just hurts me to go out like that in a dud of a conclusion. Would just, a dud of a conclusion, filled with confusion. And for my coach to. You got to forget the outside noise. All right, that's my last word. Tibbs, he's always gone with his guys till the wheels fall off. He had guys that could take it to that extent. But we want to be out there dilly-dallying and, make sure that this guy gets 10 minutes or that guy gets 10 minutes for some analytics nonsense. Okay. We should have went with our group till the wheels fall off. I wouldn't feel as bad. We should have given them the opportunity. That's what I'm saying. We didn't give our guys the opportunity to fight and come back in this game. And by the time we did go, it was already too far gone. So that's that, folks. It's like New York Knicks Anonymous here. Take a look at what's going on around the world in sports. Do our slice of life. Make sure we're not missing anything. Too much dead air here. I got you. Glad to see Coco's advancing at the French Open. I don't like wasting electricity here. 4-point game at halftime. They push it to 15 in the fourth. And then we cut it back, and then we cut right back into it. We had it to 8 with 10 minutes to go. By the time you bring Mikal back, it's 14. Again, just dilly-dallying. Dilly dally here, dilly dally there. And what did Matthew say? Pay for what you get. Pay for what you get. Okay, so let's take a look. The NBA offseason 2025. Mm, poor production. We got to get this. Okay, so in terms of this offseason, folks, no doubt about it. Giannis is the straw that stirs the drink. Okay, and he's out of Minnesota. Excuse me, Milwaukee. Um, good people in Wisconsin. No yawning on SandCity Sports. Um, Spurs in terms of the mercurial NBA draft, and Dallas being gifted Cooper Flag after trading Luca, and San Antonio getting the 2 spot. And Giannis having already intimated that he'd like to play with Wemby. Um, San Antonio already having a big three with Wemby, Fox, and Castle. You know, now you look at, they have a number 2 overall draft pick. If I'm them, I would try to keep all those guys in because they have other players to. You have a number 2 overall pick. You have these young guys. Maybe you can give some picks in the future. If I'm San Antonio, I want to hold on to Castle. I don't want to trade Castle. But then you talk about, Castle would kind of be the odd man out if you did bring in Giannis. You would have, but Castle is the piece that is going to grow with Wemby. Right, they're about the same in age. Okay, Giannis about the same as Fox, maybe a little bit older. Wemby and Castle the same age. Long story not so long. And the Drew Holiday move for the Celtics happened in silence, and was predicated on the fact that Joe Cronin, the general manager in Portland, who made out like a bandit in terms of getting rid of or offloading Damian Lillard. You look at what he got back; it's just bananas in the Dame deal. But wasn't going to deal with Pat Riley. Right, that's a deal that could have worked. Now, Pat Riley would have been receptive to but Pat Riley felt he had the upper hand that Dame wanted to be in Miami. Lowball Cronin. And so when Cronin now gets Drew, he's like, all right, you might give me the best deal, or but I'm not gonna deal with you. And so Brad Stevens sensed that, swooped in, Brogdon, Robert Williams, and maybe a pick. Okay, and you get a Hall of Fame level player who is the X factor on your team. Chemistry wise, Drew Holiday is just a chemistry captain. That's not really, but Drew Holiday, lifts improves the chemistry in your organization markedly. Two-way player, definition of a two-way player, all-star, Olympian, NBA champion, the whole 9 yards. Right, so now you have Drew Holiday and you have Derek White, who are Derek White's game is very similar. Excuse me. Right, partner those two with JB, JT. You got Crispy P. You got a championship team. Told you, Missoula needs help on the bench, but you got a championship team. So I'm not. If it's again back to Milwaukee, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And it wasn't broke. They had a couple disappointing, and then they blew it up. And now what do they have for blowing it up? I know it's frustrating when you lose and but that doesn't mean that you make moves that aren't in your best interest. All right, and it was in Milwaukee's best interest to keep Coach Bud, championship winning coach, and to keep Drew Holiday. But they wanted to, no, I need to, this whole, and Dame didn't want to be there. It wasn't as good of a seamless fit with Giannis. It's more injury prone. Didn't work. So you're starting from scratch. With all of this upheaval, trying to make a move to swing it, you ended up making a move and it swung it out of, you didn't level up in the big move that you made. And there's all this collateral damage, not the least of which is Drew going, And so, it's interesting, Giannis, and he wants out. And, now he's creating some dysentery within the ranks of the Celtics. And this is where I think the Celtics are wrong for even giving voice to this nonsense. Okay, which creates more, because it's not, I think it's wrong. I just don't think it's going to work. That's why I'm saying it's wrong. It's not going to work. Drew, Giannis wasn't content playing with Drew Holiday in Milwaukee, but now he wants to come back to Boston and play with Drew Holiday. What are we talking about? And how does Drew Holiday feel about that any type of a way? Like, we had a good thing in Milwaukee. I was committed to being in the frozen north. Wasn't complaining. Eating my cheese. Making it work. But that wasn't good enough for you. Now I got a good thing going in Boston, and you want me to switch up that good thing I have going in Boston to reunite? And if I'm Boston, I'm going to be receptive to this foolishness when I already have something that's working? It works as constituted. You take away JB or JT. Let's say the Celtics have to give up JB. It's not just going to be JB. It's going to have to be JB and Derek White. Or JB and Crispy P. So you're messing with what's already working. Who the heck knows? It's a completely different iteration. Because now Tatum's going to have to get used to, it's taken, and that you're not sure that that's going to work. You're not sure that JB or JT wants to play with Giannis. And those guys might not be buddy as close as Steph and Clay, but it's worked, and it works. They don't have to be best friends. Okay? And Jaylen Brown, you drafted him. He's outspoken, as he should be on certain issues, committed to education, committed to economic empowerment. What's the problem with being outspoken about those things? That's coming right from the Bill Russell tradition. That should be applauded, needs to be applauded. Swearing in your press conference after getting the NBA MVP, NBA Finals MVP, we can work on that. But JB that's great. The new CBA, the second apron, you've seen what the Knicks have done. This is what teams are going to have to do. Guys are going to have to structure their deals to help the teams to stay clear. And maybe you take a little bit less money, you get it on the back end, whatever. Okay, everybody can't get a max, whatever. Or you can be determined to get your max and go to teams that don't win, and, you won't have that same, face value Q rating because you're going to be a good player on a team that's going nowhere. There's plenty of those. Tyler Hero, great player. Team's going nowhere. Let's take a look. Freaking A. I can't believe this. Box score, I just get more angry. Okay, so we needed to, Mikal Bridge.
History of winning started with the 65 Gators losing.
Quiet down. 32 minutes for Mikal Bridges. This. So we need to make sure that Landry Shamet got his 16 minutes, and Deuce McBride had to get his 11 minutes, and DeLon Wright had to get his 12 minutes. This is preposterous. That Mikal Bridges only played 32 minutes. OG 37, I can rock with that. We can get OG to 40. All these guys should be Bridges, OG, Brunson, Cat, all be playing 40. We didn't need 30 minutes of freaking Mitchell Robinson tonight. You don't need 30 minutes of Mitchell Robinson in a decisive Game 7. 20 minutes of Mitch Rob. Max. But we we didn't play our starters too much tonight, folks. Made sure they were rested when they're down 16 with 5 minutes to go. Trying to mirror what the Indiana Pacers are doing. Ben Shepherd, 20 minutes. TJ, 14. Bryant, 13 with an injury. Obi, 25. Matherin, only 9 tonight, but, and then their starters about 37 for Nimhart and Tyrese and Siakam, 20 for Turner. And, good. Let's just mirror, let's just clone to copycat league. So we're just going to clone Rick Carlisle, and that's preposterous. 30 minutes for Mitch Robin in an elimination game. He's the straw that freaking stirs the drink. Mitch Rob playing only 2 minutes less than freaking Mikal Bridges. What are we doing? It's ridiculous. Again, my coach, that doesn't mean I can't. I got to say what I got to say, folks. All right, back to Giannis and the Celtics. So the Celtics, getting on this Danny Ainge and playing Casino Royale, it's dangerous. And if I was Brad Stevens, come off this nonsense. Because A, you done ruffled some feathers if Giannis takes his talents to San Antonio. And B, again, this new ownership group coming in, you want to be afraid of the second apron and try it your way, it's just going to tumble all the way back down to the hill. As Brad Stevens said when Jrue Holiday got here, this is a 4-year window. It's a 4-year window with this team. So you won it year 1, year 2, we had it back. It should be 2 more years with this group to give yourself. If the Celtics bring back this same team as constituted, they're the favorites again. Now, yes, things going to happen in the league. Giannis can go, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But okay, so Giannis goes to San Antonio for him. The Celtics can still compete with that Giannis team with him in San Antonio as currently constituted. Yes, they can. I'm sorry, they can. And we know Cleveland, they're going to lose Garland. So Cleveland, for whatever, Indiana kind of closed their window, unfortunately. Seeing all these mansions, one of these, on TV, these old mansions in the middle of nowhere, people off the grid, going to renovate a mansion in its own zip code. I'm the Celtics again. Let the Giannis sweepstake play out the way it plays out. You don't need to make any changes. Okay? I have Giannis going to San Antonio. I have Kevin Durant going to Houston. I have Devin Booker going to Detroit. Okay, those are the moves that I see. It's done in Phoenix. It's over. Can't trade. Even if they could trade Beal, I just think Durant and Booker are done. Third coach in 3 years, no thank you. They're not winning in this West with O.K.C's emergence, so it's over. Bring in Jalen Green, some assets. You bring in maybe a Sore Thompson and If I'm Detroit and I bring in Booker, I'm not giving up on. Obviously, you're not getting Cade. You're not getting Jalen Duren either. You can have Jaden Ivey, okay. You can have Thompson, some picks, but Phoenix just load up on some young players. Who knows who wants to take that job coaching wise? The owner seems to be prepared to pay like 5 coaches at once. All right, let's go down the line. Looking at the depressing. Who do we have up? Okay, so let's go down the line in terms of the league. Cleveland, run it back, lose Garland. You still have, their team is loaded. You laid it dud in the playoffs, but that aside, hopefully they can keep Garland. But no need to change. Celtics, same thing. Knicks, same thing. Pacers, same thing. Bucks are blowing it up. Detroit, they're in the Booker sweepstakes. As far as I'm concerned, Orlando, right there, young team, gritty. Jamal Mosley knows his business. Talk about bringing in Garland to help them move up the Eastern Conference ladder. Miami Heat, dark horse for Giannis. There's some, conversation, Bam, but they're gonna, Bam and Hero are gonna be there. They got rid of Jimmy. They have a bunch of pieces around them. Okay, Atlanta, same deal. Quinn Snyder's a good coach. He's getting the best out of his team. Bulls underperforming as far as I'm concerned, but not necessarily because they got Giddy, and the Bulls are just they should be a little bit better. But they should be able to get out of the play-in as far as I'm concerned. Talented, well coached, got good people. Arturas Karnisovas in the front office. Um, they should just be a scrappy team, similar to Miami. Toronto, who knows what the heck they're doing. I had them in the Cooper sweepstakes. They have 18 small forwards. They got to get rid of some of these small forwards and just streamline their roster. Scotty Barnes is their guy, and just build around Scotty Barnes. Get rid of, you don't need Scotty Barnes, Grady Dick, R.J. Barrett, Brandon Ingram. They got too many of the same person. Brooklyn just hanging in there, trying to build the right way. Enthusiasm. Philadelphia needs to get rid of Embiid. It's over. It's over. It's over with Embiid. Charlotte might be time for them to get rid of LaMelo. Um, or give Charles Lee another chance with LaMelo. Washington's a dumpster fire. It's going to be that way. Let's go West. O.K.C. championship in the finals. Houston, Durant. Los Angeles building it around Luka, having Luka resign. LeBron's not going anywhere. He wants the LA market. Denver, you know, okay, so you got rid of a Hall of Fame coach who knows what, Adelman's going to do. Clippers, just a scrappy team, out of the plan, in the conversation. Timberwolves, we've seen it. We've seen it again. They have a good enough team. Don't need to make any more moves, or maybe just talk about Durant going to Minnesota. Do it, okay? Because Ant hasn't had the eye of the tiger. All right, Golden State going nowhere fast. Memphis, you know, the same. Just build with what they have. Be competitive. Sacramento dumpster fire. Mavs building around Cooper. Suns dumpster fire. Portland talented. Move off Chauncey. Chauncey be a good assistant coach to have in Boston. From Boston, played here. And we'll see because they're talented. But Portland's the same thing. They need the right coach. You look at what M.A. did in Houston. Portland needs a coach to get through to their young players to help them be competitive, or they can continue to be nowheres. San Antonio's about to climb the ladder, with or without Giannis. New Orleans Pelicans dumpster fire. Jazz dumpster fire. Okay, so it's opportunities for some executives, to come in and turn some of these teams around, right? Because you got teams that are just backwards, i.e., the New Orleans Pelicans and the Utah Jazz. Danny Ainge knows what the heck he's doing out there. I'm glad they weren't gifted Cooper for all these years of tanking. Not that the Mavericks deserve him any more than anybody else. Wouldn't it have been nice to see Cooper go to Philly? who was bad for a reason, or Toronto. But all the way to Boston, there's going to be some changes in the NBA. None of which that is going to take them out of the championship conversation as constituted. Knicks have some work to do. Tibbs, I can't believe that he let the noise get to him and didn't go down swinging as he's done. With this baloney Mitchell Robinson 30 minutes to prove that he's a nice guy. Tibbs should have went down swinging, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, pedal to the metal. All the guys 40 plus minutes. Right? But it wasn't to be. So how we doing out there, folks? Appreciate the folk rocking with me on Facebook. I don't know why IG wanted to go out on me. People on this pessimistic podcast on Twitter are staying rocking with me. I appreciate it. Some good feedback from YouTube. Twitch is doing what it's doing. All right, so we're gonna go. It's time for our slice of life. Time to go to slice of life right now, folks. And there's plenty, a lot of jewels, a lot of gems. Go ahead and check out Knicks Fan TV tonight, folks. It's not gonna be a uplifting episode, but we got to do what we got to do. Okay, so we're going to take a look at just some advice. And this might not be how I would go about things, but who am I? So we'll just start with teach them, lead them in the way they should go. Lead them in the way that they should go. Apparently, some people agree with this. But let's talk Kevin Gates about what he tells his kids.
Children live by a different creed. They know that. Mm-hmm. They know that fighting solves everything. And we're going to have them tough conversations.
I love that.
I'm talking about, hey, listen, you go to school, people going to talk about you. Yeah. They talked about God. So your little funky ass don't stand a chance. You're going to get talked about. But if somebody put their hands on you, hey, bitch, you better go platinum right there. Ain't no wait till tomorrow. Ain't no think about it. Start the stupid right there. And I'm going to come to school and I'm going to be like, hey, I can't believe you did this. I swear to God, I'm going to kill you when we get to the house. I'm saying, I'm going to make it look good. I said, when we leave, I'm going to tell you, hey, good job. Good job. Hey, good job. I'm going to take you by every toy you want. Good job. 100%. Because, hey, bullies don't stop being bullies. Are you saying, hey, don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. That don't make bullies stop. Bullies stop when you apply pressure. Either you're applying pressure or you feeling it. Pain is the greatest motivator. Pain will motivate you to stop fucking with me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So I believe in those type of things. My children live by a different creed. They know that.
Running back.
They know that fighting solves everything. And we're going to have them tough conversations.
I love that.
I'm talking about, hey, listen, you go to school, people going to talk about you. Yeah. They talked about God. So your little funky ass don't stand a chance. You're going to get talked about. But if somebody put their hands on you, hey, bitch, you better go platinum right there. Ain't no wait till tomorrow. Ain't no think about it. Start the stupid right there. And I'm going to come to school and I'm going to be like, hey, I can't believe you did this. I swear to God, I'm going to kill you when we get to the house. I'm saying, I'm going to make it look good. I said, when we leave, I'm going to tell you, hey, good job. Good job. Hey, good job. I'm going to take you by every toy you want. Good job. 100%. Because, hey, bullies don't stop being bullies. Are you saying, hey, don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. That don't make bullies stop. Bullies stop when you apply pressure. Either you're applying pressure or you feeling it. Pain is the greatest motivator. Pain will motivate you to stop fucking with me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So I believe in those type of things. My children live by a different creed. They know that.
So yeah, you got to stand up to bullies. You certainly do. You know, in those situations, specifically in a school setting, you know, you don't want anybody kind of putting their hands on anybody else. I will say, you know, you do want to allow, you know, let the adults try to solve those things, right? Because if you instantly react when it's, you know, when a situation, you know, somebody just happens to put their hands on you, you know, and then you instantly react, as he said, you know, starting to stupid, then you could find yourself in some trouble as well. Which, you know, he, you know, as a dad, you know, he's okay with that type of trouble. You know, but all I'm saying, you know, all I'm saying is that, you know, if somebody swings on you, it's one thing, you know, but if somebody just has their hand on your shoulder, that's another thing. Okay, so if you have the opportunity, you know, if somebody starts swinging on you, then you got to defend yourself. You know, you got to bob and move. You know, you got to bob and move. Sticking, you know, you got to defend yourself. If somebody starts swinging, then you might have to throw a punch or two just to get them off you and, you know, defend yourself. Gotcha. But if somebody simply just puts their hands on you as a student or as, you know, and there's not, you know, it's not necessarily an aggressive gesture, you know, that situation may be able to be, you know, de-escalated. And particularly, you know, in an educational environment, the adults, you know, need to be there, you know, allow the adults to get there to assist, you know, to de-escalate the situation. You know, if adults aren't there, you know, adults can't be everywhere, you know, then, you know, what he's saying, you know, you have to defend yourself and make sure that you and everybody else is not injured, or is not, you know, antagonized to the point of being injured. But as you can see, you know, a lot of people, you know, we go through the comments, you know, there's some agreement from people and parents out there. You know, you gotta stand up for yourself. You have to stand up for yourself for sure. I'm gonna keep it moving and grooving. A lot to get to. We just so this one resonated with me. We got a lot of, you see, you know, Fat Joe, he's multi-talented beyond just being a rapper. You know, just talking about, hey, what it means when you're successful.
$1,000 watches, house, homes, and everywhere. We check.
That's why you got to keep working.
That's why you got to keep working.
Everybody is so rich. Then why they still working?
No. Work. So what does that mean? Does that mean that they love to do it, or does it mean like you got to pay the bill?
Yeah, you got bills.
You got kids in college. You got all type of mortgages. You got car notes. You got guys 80 years old still performing, touring. I mean, just 2 days ago was Patti LaBelle.
Gladys Knight, Shaka Khan.
Either they doing it for the love and the passion, or they still got to get the money to pay these bills. Because these bills just keep coming.
They don't stop. The bills don't stop.
The bills keep coming. I don't care.
The bills is coming now.
And so what happens is, I don't care how much money we make. It's almost like shampoo that just slip through your fingers. I'm not safe. No, I'm keeping it real with you. I am not safe with no amount of money. You don't know how many times I made $1 million and it was gone in like a month or two. And it's just regular. Yo, pay the lawyer, pay your insurance, pay this.
Repeat process.
Just this, that. And then you turn around and it's like, yo, where's the bread? Yo, bro. You know, Louis Vuitton ain't cheap, bro. All that you doing out here looking cute, it ain't cheap. And so there's always a check to check. I don't care how much money you make. It blows my mind. When I'm sitting down, I'm like, yo, I just made $1 million last month. You telling me the Amex bill, this, done washed up 2 quarters of like real quick. We check the check. If we buying $300,000 watches, house, homes, and everywhere, we check the check.
That's why you got to keep working.
That's why you got to keep working.
Everybody is so rich. Then why they still work?
No.
Gotta work.
So what does that mean? Does that mean that they love to do it, or does it mean like you got to pay the bill?
Yeah, you got bills.
You got kids in college. You got
They're gonna run us
all
back.
type of mortgages. You got car notes. You got guys 80 years old still performing, touring. I mean, just 2 days ago was Patti LaBelle.
Gladys Knight, Shaka Khan.
Either they doing it for the love and the passion, or they still got to get the money to pay these bills. Because these bills just keep
They don't
coming.
stop. The bills don't stop.
The bills keep coming. I don't care.
The bills is coming now.
And so what happens is, I don't care how much money we make. It's almost like shampoo that just slip through your fingers. I'm not safe. No, I'm keeping it real with you. I am not safe with no amount of money. You don't know how many times I made $1 million and it was gone in like a month or two. And it's just regular. Yo, pay the lawyer, pay your insurance, pay this.
Repeat process.
Just that. And then you turn around and it's like, yo, where's the bread? Yo, bro. You know, Louis Vuitton ain't cheap, bro. All that you doing out here looking cute, it ain't cheap. And so there's always a check to check. I don't care how much money you make. It blows my mind. When I'm sitting down, I'm like, yo, I just made $1 million last month. You telling me the Amex bill, this done washed up 2 quarters of like real quick. We check to check. If we buying $300,000 watches, house, homes, and everywhere, we check
That's why you got to keep working.
So, hey, you know what? Sometimes, somebody says it's not what you make, it's what you keep. And, as we know that more money, more problems. Who hot, who not? Tell me who rock, who that more money, more problems. It's but then again, without you got more money, more problems. Then you got guys, you see Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. I think Warren Buffett still lives in Omaha. Still lives in the same house. Like one of the richest men in the world. Sometimes all the flossing and you do it to yourself. You do it to yourself at times. We do it to ourselves at times. What do they say? Keeping up with the Joneses. But it's always good perspective. We all think, that if we had A, B, and C, that we'd be X, Y, and Z. You might just feel the same way you do now. Let's keep it moving. Jamie Lee Curtis, talk about the hustle.
Hustle. You could put yourself in the path of something. If you just stay in your house and think I have a lot of talent, but you don't go out and try to hustle it. That's why I love a hustle, because you have to put yourself in the path of success. Success will not come to you. You have to go to it. You have to. You must. So anybody listening here is like, oh, I'm really a great guitar player, and you're playing in your house. Get out of your house. Go to a local restaurant and say, I play guitar. Can I play a set here? I don't know what's going to happen, but maybe somebody's going to walk in and go, hey, I need a guitar player. You're a good guitar player. And the next thing you know, you're making a band. And the next thing you know, you're winning a Grammy. But you're not going to win a Grammy sitting in your house by yourself. You're not. So for me, it's about putting yourself in the path of it. You can hustle. You can put yourself in the path of something. If you just stay in your house and think I have a lot of talent, but you don't go out and try to hustle it. That's why I love a hustle.
That's right.
Because you have to put yourself in the path of success. Success will not come to you. You have to go to it. You have to. You must. So anybody listening here is like, oh, I'm really a great guitar player, and you're playing in your house. Get out of your house. Go to a local restaurant and say, I play guitar. Can I play a set here? I don't know what's going to happen, but maybe somebody's going to walk in and go, hey, I need a guitar player. You're a good guitar player. And the next thing you know, you're making a band. And the next thing you know, you're winning a Grammy. But you're not going to win a Grammy sitting in your house by yourself. You're not. So for me, it's about putting yourself in the path of it. You can hustle. You can put yourself in the path of something. If you just stay in your house.
Once again, no lies detected. Jamie Lee Curtis, solid actress over many years. You understand? We talk about Sly. Sylvester Stallone. He wrote. Sly, Matty D. There's number of people out there. Jordan Peele, The Get Out. Took me a long time to see, which is crazy. Right? You gotta do it. You gotta write your own. That aside, I don't want to hear it. You write your own. It ain't the man, it ain't the system. Most men live lives of quiet desperation and die with the song still inside of them. Thoreau. You gotta, you know what I mean? All right. No great war, no great depression. A great war is a spiritual war. A great depression is our lives. Tyler Durden. Okay. You gotta go and do it. Okay. This external stuff is there. It's challenging. All that. I get it. You got to go and do it. You got to hustle. No lies detected. Good stuff. Speaking of hustling, we got a shout out. We just talking. Oh, yeah. JB and what he does in the community. Stuff like this. Let's go.
Like a role model?
Very, yeah.
Why so?
He shows me what goals I can set for myself in the future.
The Celtics season ended less than 2 weeks ago, and Jaylen Brown is already back to work. It's purposeful work just off the court.
Stuff like this, crazy.
One shot at a time, one school at a time.
JB was in the
Jaylen
building.
Brown is having an impact.
BPS, baby.
But I am asking for everybody to be a leader in their community, be a leader in your friend group, be a leader in your classroom.
The four-time All-Star stopping at 5 inner-city schools Wednesday.
Yes,
So
sir.
I need you guys to do your part. Finish strong.
Jaylen emphasizing academics and athletics.
My parents never graduated high school either, and to graduate high school and also be valedictorian, it means a lot. And to be recognized by someone as big as Jaylen Brown, it meant the world.
The 2024 Finals MVP leaving an impression on students that rushed to see him.
They see the potential of someone of color like Jaylen Brown becoming this successful, and I think it really inspires them.
What's your name and who's your favorite basketball player?
My name's Jaylen Brown, and obviously Jaylen Brown, my favorite basketball player.
Each of the schools in vibrant urban districts.
I feel like we are a hidden gem in Mattapan, and so for folks to come in and see the hard work that our students, that our staff, that our community is doing on a daily basis, and also be recognized wow, Jaylen Brown actually wants to come to Mildred Avenue.
It just lifts their spirits to have someone who is a national and international star come and just be present.
Presence that felt like a present for the future leaders of tomorrow.
Jaylen, back there, over here. You could give me courtside tickets, Yeah.
We'll see about that. We'll check.
So we'll see how that ends up. Just to give some context on how much this meant to these young students, as we left New Mission High School on the second floor, some 10 minutes after Jaylen had left the school, you could hear kids roaring and screaming from inside of their classrooms, JB, JB. And that was a cool moment because the athlete had already left. Jaylen Brown was off to the next school, and these students were still impacted by his presence.
Does he feel like a role model?
Very, yeah.
Why so?
He shows me what goals I can set for myself in the future.
The Celtics season ended less than 2 weeks ago, and Jaylen Brown is already back to work. It's purposeful work just off the court. One shot at a time, one school at a time. Jaylen Brown is having an impact.
But I am asking for everybody to be a leader in their community, be a leader in your friend group, be a leader in your classroom.
The four-time All-Star stopping at 5 inner-city schools Wednesday.
But I'm gonna need you guys to do your part. Finish strong.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And by the way, last year when the Celtics, had experienced the prosperity, won a championship, Jaylen Brown made sure that I believe it was 2 buses, school buses, with bridge program students. Bridge program serves students in Boston, were a part of the parade. All right, so he ain't new to this. Again, talking about what he's doing in the community, why he's so valuable to the Commonwealth and to the Celtics. Why he needs to stay in Boston. Just the work that he does surrounding education, the work that he does surrounding economic empowerment. He's talking it, and he's also walking it. It's a beautiful thing. No end in sight. Okay, just keep it moving with our next slice of life to get to. Let's see here. Speaking of those making an impact, super cool by JB. Okay.
This is really special. Very thoughtful. This is the greatest family in TV history right here.
That was very kind, guys.
Thanks. Yeah, this is really special.
Inside the NBA.
Very thoughtful. This is the greatest family in TV history right here.
That was very kind, guys.
Thanks. Yeah.
Real quick, Ernie Johnson. Show is moving. The show is moving to ESPN clearly. But Ernie Johnson, he said, I have a get to job, not a got to. I have a get to, not a got to. I get to do this. Yes, sir, Ernie. Appreciate you over the years. Thrilled that Inside the NBA is continuing on. Thrilled that it's continuing on and leaving TNT, so it's many decades.
What turns them into a game. Because
talking about on the court turns somebody gets them into their mode on the court. I
can tell you the moment that happened with me was USA basketball. What's so funny is people think I got cut. I didn't get cut. The idea of that I was possibly one of the people that was going to get cut is what set me off. Right? The fact that there's only 3 of us that are 2-time all NBA players. Yeah. I'm one of them. And I'm saying I'm taking a back seat. I'll be the clap boy. I've been y'all up in practice. I am him in practice on that second squad. But I understand this is a team thing. I'm doing my part. So when I'm like, oh man, I got a little groin injury. I don't want to hold up a spot. I know, trying to make the team still, right? And it's like, yeah, if you need to go back, it's cool with us. Because, you was one of the bubble players. One of the what? Bubble. Yeah, I'm out of here. I don't know how long that flight was, felt like 20 minutes. Because all I'm thinking is, I'm putting my workout together. I ain't sleep when I landed. First couple of weeks, I was in the gym, went to meditation, and it was demon time.
Arenas for 3. Got it!
Yo, but Arenas with a career night, 60 points. It's also a franchise bet.
Gilbert for the win. He is amazing!
So we don't know what it's going to turn, but we know when we see it.
So this is
You'll be surprised what turns them into a game. Because I can tell you the moment that happened with me was USA basketball.
So this is how we got Hibachi. This is the story of how we got Hibachi, which was prime. He was never healthy after Hibachi. Unfortunately, his knees never allowed him. And then the issues in the locker room. But interesting in terms of how we got to Hibachi. Sometimes man. Somebody tells you no, it's the best thing that ever happened to you.
What's so funny is people think I got cut. I didn't get cut. The idea of that I was possibly one of the people that was going to get cut is what set me off. Right? The fact that there's only 3 of us that are 2-time all NBA players. Yeah. I'm one of them. And I'm saying I'm taking a back seat. I'll be the clap boy.
I've been f***ing y'all up in practice. I am him in practice on that second squad, but I understand this is a team thing. I'm doing my part. So when I'm like, oh man, I got a little groin injury, I don't want to hold up a spot. I know, trying to make the team still, right? And it's like, yeah, if you need to go back, it's cool with us. Cause you was one of the bubble players. One of the what? Bubble. Yeah, I'm out of here. I don't know how long that flight was, felt like 20 minutes. Cause all I'm thinking is all these I'm putting my workout together. I ain't sleep when I landed. First couple weeks, I was in the gym, went to meditation, and it was demon time.
Arenas for three. Got it. Yeah, but Arenas with a career night, 60 points. It's also a franchise bet.
Gilbert for the win. Got another one. He is amazing. I mean, so we don't know what it's going to turn, but we know when we see it. You'll be surprised.
He said, Bubble, what? That no? He said, I got something for you now. Again, in terms of the cost.
Wasn't always balanced. And this, I'm sure you guys can relate to, right? If you want to be excellent at anything, sports, music, business, politics, there are going to be times in your life where you're out of balance, where you're just working and you're single-minded and for me, when I was running for president, I think I went about a year and a half where I was maybe hope on weekends. And the kids were still small. Michelle was working. We weren't rich. So it wasn't like Michelle could quit her job. So she was carrying a huge load. It wasn't always balanced. And this, I'm sure you guys can relate to, right? If you want to be excellent at anything, sports, music, business, politics, there are going to be times in your life where you're out of balance, where you're just working and you're single-minded and for me, when I was running for president, I think I went about a year and a half where I was maybe hope on weekends and the kids were still small. Michelle was working. We weren't rich. So it wasn't like Michelle could quit her job. So she was carrying a huge load. It wasn't always balanced. And
How about that cost? Talk about the, we all want the mountaintop. Greatness is built in the valley. You don't want to pay that cost. At least speaking for me. But then don't want to, upset with what you don't have. Got to spend time in the valley. Let's go to the Mamba.
See how hard you work. You go to the office, I come in the studio, they don't really see the effort, right? So how can we teach our children what it means to work hard? Well, you do it through training, right? So when I get up in the morning, my daughter goes with me. 4 a.m., my 15-year-old goes with me. She goes with me before school, and it becomes a daddy-daughter thing.
That's cool.
She just got her permit, right? So she drives in the morning. It becomes a cool thing, right? But through that process, she understands the value of hard work and things taking time. And the same thing with my 12-year-old, right? She practices every day, right? And so it's through those behaviors is where I find the motivation to do it. Your kids can't see how hard you work. You go to the office, I come in the studio, they don't really see the effort, right? So how can we teach our children what it means to work hard? Well, you do it through training, right? So when I get up in the morning, my daughter goes with me. 4 a.m., my 15-year-old goes with me. She goes with me before school, and it becomes a daddy-daughter thing.
That's cool.
She just got her permit, right? So she drives in the morning. It becomes a cool thing, right? But through that process, she understands the value of hard work and things taking time. And the same thing with my 12-year-old, right? She practices every day, right? And so it's through those behaviors is where I find the motivation to do it. Your kids can't see how hard you work. You go to the office, I come.
It's tough, but that was the Mamba mentality. That was,
The studio.
That was what he was instilling, in Gigi and his players. And that's why they were on their way to being successful. It's tough to see, but that's the legacy. That's the legacy. Hard work. Eye of the tiger, Mamba mentality. Late great Kobe Bryant, Gigi. All those lost in the helicopter crash.
This is dope. You watching the Knicks Pacers game outside on the
Finish
block
with, you know,
through a projector. This brings people together to watch the game, just like they did with the boxing match, the Edgar Berlanga fight. They did the same thing. Bring out the projector and have people watch it. I think this is cool. This is the true New York City. Bonding together to watch sports. I think this is amazing. This is dope.
It is.
You watching the Knicks Pacers game outside
Sad to see it go.
on the block through a projector. This brings people together to watch the game, just like they did with the boxing match, the Edgar Berlanga fight. They did the same thing. Bring out the projector and have people watch it. I think this is cool. This is the true New York City. Bonding together to watch sports. I think this is amazing. This is.
You know, you can say, go New York, go New York, go. We went as far as we could. And it is what it is. It is what it is. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. We still, hey, go New York, go New York, go. Pacers were the better team tonight. So that's the way the cookie crumbles, folks. Just go across the board, see a couple people. Appreciate folks on the Facebook staying with us. There's a few on the Twitter. Got some feedback on the YouTube. Not the most optimistic night, but hey, it is what it is as we wind down. You know what time it is. Hey, SandCity, your host,